Our top stories tonight, the Bay Area gets its first significant storm this winter. The North Bay has gotten the most rain so far, in some spots as much as 2 inches, but well into the North Bay. This also bodes well for the Sierra and the upper elevations. They have 6 to 12 inches of snow, though they need a lot more. Very welcome sight for the resorts, until now bone dry. A good Samaritan may have saved a man's life in San Jose today. A truck loaded with pallets rolled over at the Highway 87 off-ramp to Santa Clara Street. It knocked over an electrical control box, possibly sending a current through the truck. Passerby 39-year-old Frank Walker climbed into the cab and helped stabilize the driver, 40-year-old Jose Agabo. Walker helped control Agabo's bleeding until help arrived. In a rough trip today, very rough, on a plane from Phoenix to San Jose. The America West flight ran into turbulence at 30,000 feet, then suddenly dropped 400 feet before it leveled off. The 70 passengers shaken, 2 flight attendants hurt, not seriously.
By the end of the day, San Francisco's redesigned waterfront could have another major addition. The port commissioners are meeting at this hour to discuss a final blueprint for a cruise ship terminal at the foot of the Bay Bridge. In addition to the cruise ship terminal, that plan also calls for a movie theater, restaurants, office space, a hotel, and apartments.
This project represents the best of everything. The cruise ship terminal is our main mission as a port, is to promote maritime and shipping. And this is why we're here. And we have to combine it with a variety of things in order to pay for the investment.
It's a $290 million project. It would be financed entirely by private funds.
The cruise ship terminal is just the latest high-impact change to come to the area along the Embarcadero south of Market. Now, coupled with the existing developments, the new projects will likely cause more congestion in the area. Already there's Multimedia Gulch, the South Beach apartment complexes, coming soon the Four Seasons Hotel, Bloomingdale's, the cruise ship terminal. The centerpiece of the development is the Giants' new stadium. First pitch at the Giants' new stadium, Pac-Bell Park. Just 3 months away now. Hard to believe. 2 years after the construction started, the ballpark is nearly done. News Center 4's Linda Yee toured the stadium, hard hat in hand or on head, and has the report.
It's got that old-time feel inspired by Wrigley Field and Fenway Park. Pac-Bell Park has risen from the construction dust and is practically completed. Public anticipation has reached fever pitch.
Everybody wants to come in and get a sneak peek of what the ballpark's going to look like, and so, you know, we've tried to ward off as many people as possible and trying to build the anticipation for April 2000.
Take a sneak peek anyway. The work inside continues almost non-stop. Escalators are in. Permanent light fixtures are being mounted. On the field, the giant cranes are gone and the baseball diamond is now visible. The park's 40,000 seats are nearly installed.
The structure's done on the left side. We're waiting for the concrete to cure, and then the 24th we lift the Coke bottle up into its final resting place.
Inside the Giants clubhouse, some fancy locker rooms, cherry wood closets, no cheap metal containers for the home players. Right off the locker rooms are the exercise, training, and hydrotherapy rooms. The visiting team will not get all of this.
It's turned more into an interior job. We see a lot of carpet layers, finishers, painters, tile setters. In fact, our manpower's gone up a little bit. We're running over 600 workers a day here now.
For the fans with special club seating, there are better views and fancy food, like wood stoves for the pizza. Plain old hot dogs don't work anymore. Finishing touches are also being put on those expensive luxury suites. Cabinets and furnishings are also made of cherry wood, carrying over that giant locker room theme. The only thing the contractors cannot control is the weather, especially this day's rainfall.
We have our roof on, so you can see it's fairly dry inside.
So you're still on time, on budget?
On time and on budget. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
It may still be 3 months away before opening day, but the Giants can't wait. Some of the big hitters like J.T. Snow, Barry Bonds, and Jeff Kent will be out here testing the field, maybe hitting a few balls right out of the ballpark. In San Francisco, Linda Yee, News Center 4.
Even though opening day is officially April 11th, the Giants will play their first game at Pac-Bell Park on March 31st when they play their first exhibition game there.
The ballpark, the cruise terminal, as massive as they are only part of the new face of San Francisco. The city has had a huge facelift in the last decade, changes that are also causing problems like parking and traffic. News Center 4's Vic Lee is at the Ferry Building, joins us live right now with that part of the story. Vic?
Good evening, Wendy. As you said, San Francisco is a city that's had many facelifts over the years, and the waterfront here is a good example. It's changed dramatically its appearances over the decades. In the 30s, the downtown streets of San Francisco were just as crowded, not with cars, but with people. And remember when the Embarcadero Freeway was just built? When the waterfront was bustling with port business, all those freighters loading and unloading. When San Francisco's port truly was the gateway to the Pacific. The worry then was not much different.
The traffic is trebling, and so we have before us what is really a tremendously acute traffic situation.
And there was even a ballpark in the city, Seal Stadium, but this one was on 16th and Bryant. Today, the new Pac-Bell Ballpark is on 3rd and King. All around it, new luxury condos and apartments. The waterfront with the Embarcadero Freeway of the 60s now looks like this, a palm tree-lined waterfront promenade and lots of condos and apartments with spectacular views. South of Market was once an industrial mecca lined with warehouses. When those businesses left in the 80s, the area became a vacant, underdeveloped expanse. Now it's trendy Soma. There's Sony Metreon with nearby Yerba Buena Gardens. A Four Seasons hotel is coming along with luxury condos around the block. Guess what all this has brought? Cars, lots of them, and not enough spaces to park them.
Clearly, it's creating stress.
Gerald Green is a city planning director.
No doubt, success brings additional people, and right now people are driving to this city.
Motorists like Ed Padawan. How long did it take him to find a space?
Oh my God, I would say like an hour.
Hour to find parking?
Yes, an hour to find parking. Just too much.
Parking valet Brian Bradford says the 5th and Mission garage gets full early.
This lot gets full like 2, 3 o'clock on a Saturday. It's totally full. You have to wait about 15, 20 minutes in line.
City planners grudgingly admit that the transit first policy has not worked and that they will have to build new parking lots.
We're taking a look at possibly expanding the Moscone garage, and more importantly, we're taking a look at building garages maybe outside of the city and then bringing people in via transit.
But they haven't given up on Muni either.
80% of the vehicles that are parking on those lots are San Francisco residents. That clearly points out that we need to do a better job in getting people onto mass transit.
Well, there are two big obstacles in building new parking garages and parking lots downtown, and of course that is the lack of money and the lack of space. So, as Stu Sunshine was saying, they are seriously considering novel approaches like satellite parking lots. One of the places they're looking at is Candlestick Park. Asking commuters and others for that matter to park there and then shuttling them downtown. Back to you.
Interesting. Okay, Vic, thank you very much for that story.
Some of the stories making news around the world. In the nation, the past 24 hours, the Justice Department may weigh in on the battle over a 6-year-old Cuban refugee. That follows a controversial decision by a Florida judge, a state judge, to grant emergency custody to Elian Gonzalez's relatives in Miami. Meantime, the INS says, pending a decision, the agency won't enforce Friday's deadline for returning Elian to Cuba. The Justice Department must make the decision. Another immigration story from the INS, this especially gruesome, a wave of illegal Chinese immigrants entering U.S. ports in cramped shipping containers. That follows the discovery of 3 bodies in a filthy container in Seattle. Today in Seattle, 19 more Chinese men pulled alive from those containers, brings the number detained by the INS in the past 3 weeks to just over 100. Get ready to shell out another penny to mail a letter. Under a Postal Service plan announced today, first-class stamps would go from 33 to 34 cents. The cost of other services would rise. The Post Office says the increase due to the rising costs of fuel and wages. If approved, the new rates would take effect next year. Many of us can remember the 3-cent stamp, but then we're especially old.
Still ahead, the one thing that the internet is missing and how we'll get it.
Tonight, must-see TV is all new on Just Shoot Me. Divorced and homeless lives at the office.
My God, we have a tight little body.
A Third Rock documentary. Aliens fear being exposed.
Exposed as what?
Think fast.
A lesbian.
Then Will and Grace hit the antique show with a teapot worth
$30,000.
What?
But who will take the jackpot?
Jack!
And Veronica's smoking. NBC's all new tonight.
The world can be a pretty tough place. Now there's one exciting car designed to take it. Grand Am. With solid form design, it's the most solid Grand Am ever built.
Now get up to $33.02 average finance savings with 0% APR financing on a 2000 Grand Am GT. Grand Am. Excitement well built.
See your local Pontiac dealer today.
Closer than you think. For information about flood insurance, talk to your agent or call 1-888-FLOOD-ALERT.
You know, it's only once a year that the Men's Warehouse has a sale. But if it's a sale as big as this one, well, once is enough.
It takes a Men's Warehouse sale to beat a Men's Warehouse price.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
I'm actually in the bed, naked, and suddenly he opens the door.
I knocked on the door loudly.
He still has a set of keys.
What do you do? Change the locks.
Right.
Judge Judy Justice.
The decision is mine at 4:30, only on Channel 4.
A passion for truth.
My dear, it's rough out there. Why are you blaming the rest of the world for what you did?
A passion for people.
Stand up here. I want to talk to you. When are you going to start dealing with your life?
A passion for what's right.
You don't pay child support to get visitation. You pay it for the benefit of the child.
America's fastest growing court show. Judge Joe Brown. A passion for justice.
Weekdays at 11, only on Channel 4.
News Center 4 closed captioning is sponsored by Sleep Train. News Center 4, proud to be the closed captioning leader in Northern California.
A down day on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones gave up early gains to close 61 points lower. The Nasdaq dropped 127 points on profit-taking in the high-tech businesses.
Well, the AOL-Time Warner mega merger yesterday has put the word broadband in the news. Well, what is broadband? News Center 4's Anthony Moore is here to explain it all to you and to us.
Well, Pete, AOL offers internet access and an archive of its own mostly online print information. Time Warner features video, CNN, movies, TV, and the like, and a nationwide cable system. Broadband is the marriage of those technologies. The best description I heard came from a pioneer in broadband, Excite at Home. They call it the internet on steroids.
Plenty of links on this week's webways to help you stay informed about...
That's not a TV show. It's broadband internet access.
Here we're downloading a 15 megabyte file in less than a minute that would take several hours to download on a regular dial-up connection.
Excite at Home connects a box to your computer and uses AT&T's cable TV system to offer the World Wide Web at 100 times dial-up speed, plus its own content.
Everywhere we can throughout, we're embellishing with video, graphics, animation.
High speed means you can access the internet's audio and video files as if it were an on-demand TV. For instance, instead of waiting for the news to come on at 6 o'clock and seeing the headlines in the order the anchors tell you,
you can click on that, a pop-up comes up, and then you can read a little bit about the information.
Debating for the third time in 5 days.
So this takes the newscast, breaks it up into easy, digestible segments, so you get not just the things that you're interested in, but when and how you want it. So instead of, I want my MTV, it's, I want my MTV when I want it, how I want it, where I want it, and what device I want it in the house.
In theory, every internet website could offer TV-quality video to the world. With broadband, we're all broadcasters.
If I'm looking for information about how to bake bread, and there's a small video there that teaches me how to bake bread in 5 minutes, that's a powerful solution.
But broadband capability also attracts big bucks media. Some worry that will stifle the internet's small guy creativity.
No question, as big media companies get involved, are we going to see similar levels of highly polished content on the web that we see, for instance, in television? Yes, but nothing's going to stop the fact that anyone, for very little money, can get on the web and put content up there that anybody in the world can see.
Broadband, but at what cost? Well, it's not for sure cable companies will let you choose any internet service provider you want. They may require you to sign up with their service, and that, of course, could boost costs because there wouldn't be any competition. However, there is another technology that promises broadband access too. It's called DSL. You may have heard of it. It is available in some places like San Francisco. It's a way to use phone lines to deliver high-speed internet access. Pete?
All right, Anthony, thanks a lot. Still to come, Steve will update the forecast.
And thousands of Bay Area Catholics line up to honor a saint.
Diamonds, the gift that lasts forever. The Jewelry Exchange in Burlingame imports all their diamonds direct. They carry thousands of diamonds, most GIA or EGL certified, and all at guaranteed lowest prices. 1-carat solitaires start at $5.99. The Jewelry Exchange makes all their jewelry in their state-of-the-art factory and has hundreds of rings, pendants, earrings, and bracelets. Only the Jewelry Exchange in Burlingame guarantees all their jewelry to appraise for double. That's right, double the purchase price. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Burlingame.
It's time to get that great-to-be-alive feeling from Niagara Adjustomatic Beds. Since 1949, Niagara has helped millions of people and thousands of doctors enjoy life again. Research shows that the Niagara system helps relieve conditions associated with many discomforts, aches and pains of arthritis, hiatal hernia, back pain, tension, anxiety, and stress. Niagara helps relieve breathing difficulties, helps you sleep better, and helps improve blood circulation and joint mobility. A national survey of doctors who purchased Niagara equipment reported decreased minor pain, nervous tension, and fatigue. Here's what some users of Niagara have to say. My wife suffers from arthritis of the spine and sciatica, and from the first night we used the bed, we both slept better. I'm very delighted with it. My only regret is that I didn't know such a marvelous bed existed 7 years ago. Call 1-800-765-8809. Niagara will send you at no cost more information about this incredible way of helping to relieve minor aches and pains and start living again. 1-800-765-8809.
Brakes can save your life. Brakes can save your car. And now, brakes can save you some money as well. Right now, get genuine Midas brakes for only $69.95 after rebate. And of course, you'll get our lifetime guarantee honored at every Midas nationwide. Go now. Go safely. Go Midas.
Does your yard look like this? Do you want it to? Join Henry Tannenbaum on Bay TV for expert gardening advice, the latest in techniques and technology. Whether it's how to plant a water garden, mow your lawn, or grow the perfect fruits and vegetables. Get fired up about gardening. Watch Henry's Garden Saturday and Sunday at 10:30 and 4:30 on Bay TV, Your TV, Cable Channel 35.
Talk around the clock tonight free with CellularOne, the one that works.
Throughout the Bay Area this week, thousands of people have been lining up to see the relics of a 19th century nun. They want to get close to St. Therese, known as the Little Flower. News Center 4's Catherine Heenan reports.
We arrived at a church in Seaside just as people were emptying into the aisles, lining up to see the relics of a little nun who died in Normandy in 1897. If Therese had not written a short autobiography called The Story of a Soul, it's unlikely anybody would even remember her. Instead, she is a saint revered for her devotion and utter simplicity.
She teaches us that we can change the world through the little things. The little things done with great love can really make a difference in the world. And maybe that's what draws people. We don't have to be brilliant or rich or powerful.
Her relics are under glass, inside an ornate box. People want to be close, to touch the glass, to bring flowers and prayers. The worldwide tour began in the U.S. in October, and the response has been overwhelming.
55,000 at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City alone, 100,000 in the Chicago area, 127,000 in Miami. The biggest crowd we had was in Detroit, Royal Oak, Michigan. There were 75,000 people in one day in a church that just seats 3,500.
The little flower might be amused at the fuss she's causing. In San Jose last night, for example, such a crush of people came forward at the cathedral after Mass, the priests got a little worried. Here in Seaside, Knights of Columbus acted as security.
It was a very simple way. She sought to do very simple, ordinary tasks for the total love of God. And there was something about that that was magnetic for people. And also, she's very young.
She died at age 24, more than 100 years ago, but seems to strike a chord in a now chaotic, often self-absorbed world. In Seaside, Catherine Heenan, News Center 4.
Tomorrow, the relics will be brought to Oakland, where they're going to be on display at a monastery and a local church.
Mr. Rowley is hidden away in his office with the latest information
Working
for us.
hard.
The Weather Center.
Yeah, I got something to do today, you know, for a change after such a long dry spell here. Temperatures around the Bay Area in the lower 50s in most locations. And as we go through the night, if you're heading outside, make sure you tote the umbrella. We're still seeing a few scattered showers. You'll see the green shade on the light side. That'll continue through tomorrow. More rain to come this week. We'll have all the details for you tonight at 11.
It's a nice office. I mean, they serve muffins back there when you visit.
Hot muffins, oh sure. Tim Haddocks is busy baking them now.
He's, oh, well, we'll be right back. When we come back from this break, though, a member of the Raiders coaching team has been fired. Gary will have the details next.
Looking ahead to Night Beat at 11, last night's 4-alarm fire in San Francisco left more than 40 people homeless. Tonight, what happens when you suddenly lose your home in the most costly and competitive housing market in the world? That's at 11. And coming up tonight on Take Issue, the year in Bay Area professional sports. The Niners, the Raiders, the Warriors. Join me, along with KNBR's Ralph Barberi, the Chronicle's Glenn Dickey. Email us now.
If you love pure powder, pure bumps, pure sugar, you need a pure brand of sport utility vehicle. Jeep, the official vehicle of Sugar Bowl Ski Resort. Buy or lease any new Grand Cherokee and get a $300 value card for lift tickets, group lessons, or rentals at Sugar Bowl. So visit your Jeep dealer today and lease a new Grand Cherokee Laredo for only $329 a month. But hurry, because this deal won't last. Jeep, your official vehicle of Sugar Bowl Ski Resort.
A passion for truth.
My dear, it's rough out there.
A passion for people.
When are you going to start dealing with your life?
A passion for what's right.
You pay it for the benefit of the child.
Judge Joe Brown. A passion for justice.
Weekdays at 11, only on Channel 4.
My big issue is...
Brown, I want you to give Muni big.
Gas prices are too high.
Free speech.
Let me tell you what I think about politicians.
$1.50 for ATM.
It's your right.
Studios for like $2,000 a month. That's such a joke.
We need ferry systems out there. We need BART out there quick.
Use it.
Yeah, that guy's a criminal.
It's ridiculous.
If it's in the news and on your mind, Take Issue. Hosted by Pete Wilson, weeknights at 8 on Bay TV, your TV.
Dating under the influence.
She came on to me. Was she drunk?
America's most wretched.
I'm starting to feel nostalgic for that summer in my 20s when I was impotent.
On Frasier.
Tonight at 7 on Channel 4.
Regis is back and ready to give away more money. Behind the scenes for the questions of the next episode. Plus, Jag Down Under. And do the secrets of Marilyn Monroe's death lie in these hidden FBI files? It's on ET.
Join us at 7:30
on Channel 4.
Now, Gary Radnich, News Center 4 Sports.
Good evening, everybody. This is a season for NFL coaches to be hired and fired, and that includes assistants. In a surprise move that is being traced back to yesterday morning, Raider defensive coordinator Willie Shaw is without a team tonight. Shaw told yesterday by John Gruden his time was over. Shaw most recently interviewed for the head coaching position with the New England Patriots. Shaw appeared to be highly respected by the players on his defensive unit. Here are the particulars on Willie Shaw. 7th in the NFL, overall yardage, 11th against the pass, 7th against the rush. Raider defensive backs coach Chuck Bresnahan, sources tell us, is the man who will replace Willie Shaw as defensive coordinator. Now, Vern Glenn spoke with Shaw at today's East-West Shrine Game All-Star practice. Vern joins us from Palo Alto.
All right, Gary, Shaw's dismissal came as a complete shock to the former Raider defensive coordinator. When we saw him at practice today, we all assumed that he was looking for a prospect to help his defense for next year. Well, instead of looking for, say, an outside linebacker, Willie Shaw found himself looking for answers.
I had a great interview in New England. I had a real good interview in New England and came back real positive. They called me in and said, hey, you know, your style of coaching really helped us here. You helped turn it around and finish in the top 10 in defense 2 years in a row, and really appreciate what you've done, but we feel like we need to go another way.
Did they maybe think that you were going to take the New England job?
Just said they felt like they had to, Chuck Bresnahan's on the staff, and they thought that they felt like they might lose Chuck because, he's talking to people about going somewhere else, and didn't feel like they wanted to lose both of us, and thought maybe I would be leaving eventually anyway. So they decided to elevate Chuck to the supervisory, and said they couldn't keep both of us, so I'm on the street looking for a job. I had a whole bunch of players call me last night. They weren't real happy. I told them, hey, you guys established something there. Whether I'm there or not, I mean, this is a profession where some of you guys are going to move on. You just got to go and be a professional about it. Go and do the best job you can. And if you learned anything from me, I hope you learned that. I have a good rapport with the people in the league. They know what I'm about, and they know what my abilities are, and I just hope that carries me into the next situation.
The Raiders' loss is going to be somebody else's gain, Gary, as we go back to you. This fellow will not be out of work too long.
Hey, Vern, in checking around, have you uncovered any possible straw that broke the camel's back reason for Shaw dismissal?
Well, it's a coaching fraternity, Gary. They all talk. In fact, they were talking this afternoon. Here is what I get from an NFL source. This had been a long time coming since the Tampa Bay game, a 45-0 Raider rout where they hand out game balls after the game for a job well done. Yes, there was support for John Gruden, but in that locker room, there was a lot of support for Willie Shaw for that particular performance. The relationship between the two had not been the same since. Just a couple of weeks ago, Shaw had been praised and said that he would be on board for next year. Well, you saw part of that interview, Gary, and apparently 2 weeks later, the best defensive coordinator, arguably, in the league is, as he likes to say it, on the street.
All right, Vern, thank you very much. Once again, sources tell us that Raider defensive back coach Chuck Bresnahan will assume Shaw's defensive coordinator position. The Raider organization tonight declined comment. Chan Gailey went 8-9 this past season, eliminated for the second year in a row in the first round of the playoffs, and he's gone as Dallas Cowboys head coach. 2 years for Gailey. Hello and goodbye. Jerry Jones on the market now for a new head coach. Baseball welcomed in 2 new members to their Hall of Fame today. Carlton Fisk, best remembered for this dramatic Game 6, 1975 World Series winning home run, caught 24 years for both the Boston Red Sox and Chicago White Sox. Tony Perez of Cincinnati's Big Red Machine. In this, his 9th year of eligibility. He goes into the Hall with 379 home runs and 1,652 RBIs. And we're keeping you abreast on the America's Cup. America 1 is cruising to victory at this hour. If they win, they are into the Challengers runoff series. Once again, a San Francisco boat, and News Center 4 is a part in their heart and their soul.
Yes, they're thinking about us right now.
All right.
Comprehensive.
Thank you, Wendy.
All right.
That's it for News Center 4 at 6.
Indeed. We'll be back here at 11 o'clock. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.